I dealt with bullying in probably the same way as you did, by either ignoring it, by telling the teacher that I'm being bullied, by keeping quiet, not saying anything to not cause problems for you or the kid, or by fighting them. Or maybe by getting your parent in the school, which I haven't done probably intentionally, but it has happened. So tell a little bit about my story. For example, in elementary school up to 4th grade in the rest of the world, in Europe, I actually got bullied even when I hid into the bathrooms. I got locked up in wooden lockers and being stolen stuff from my backpack, like pens, pencils, maybe even notebooks, stuff like that. And I even have to move from 4th to 5th grade into a different school. And that school, it was much better. I had the diversity of friends, and I even had one friend there that I even sparred with a little bit. We had like fights from the shows that we watched, like the animes and like Naruto and stuff like that. And it was a pretty fun time when I was in that school. I have fond memories of it, but there was still bullying somewhat, but it hasn't been imprinted in my mind that much. It was more like teasing or shaming, probably, yes. Because at that time I still didn't want to admit that I know what sex was. That I had the intuition, but I was like, I don't know what that was. I was ashamed to share that information of knowledge. The other kids knew. Weren't that ashamed of speaking about it. And when I moved to high school in grade 8, I started high school in grade 8, and there were only boys in my class. I think that 29 boys in a single class. And as you can presume, there was quite a lot of bullying if you were if you're lower in the hierarchy of the class. And you were like taking it without much resistance. But at some point you either get so annoyed that you start a fight with them immediately for the weeks, months of the bullying keeping going, or you tell the teacher about them and they make some sort of punishment for the bully. I have had both ways. I have had bullies that I told the teacher about and they stopped. We even became friends and drank afterwards. There were others that we had a fight once and we settled our differences. Basically, we showed ourselves that we had the ability to hurt the other person and you gain basically mutual respect to one another. I even had a kid that was like this tall, I'm not really sure, about this tall and was giving me shit. But he was like a more dominant kind of figure. Talked about how in bars he fights and there were massive fights in that bar. Basically he was bullying me a little bit. But one day we got ourselves into a fight or something. And after that we were cool. We were like, oh, he's okay. Which is basically how we deal with stuff. We show that we are capable of harming another person and that the other person is capable of harming us, and we get mutual respect of one another, and we are like, oh, it's okay now. We don't have to show our anger to one another because there will be consequences. But if, for example, I only let him bully me, and the bullying would continue. Even if you ignored him, you actually don't feel that good if you ignore him because you know that the bullying will continue in the future. You need to take some action, and that's basically the story. After high school, in the college I didn't have any bullies. We were more like, because it was a technical university and we had more like debates about opinions and viewpoints and about knowledge that we can come up with. A couple of friends we debated about philosophy and religion, I think, but there weren't any physical harms. Well, intentional. On the first day of college, I remember that a friend that we are even today friends, almost 8 years later, I was going to just step near his foot, like stomp on it, but not on it. But I missed and I stopped on his foot and I was like, oh, sorry, I want to just scare you. He was like, I'm gonna make him a friend. He's weird. So this video is basically don't let the bullying continue. Either tell the teacher or don't let your emotions get back to the sidelines and to the back of your mind. Show your emotions, either scream at the kid or fight them, or tell the teacher, of course. Basically do what feels right. Or experiment. With some bullies, tell on the teacher. If they don't change, of course fight them. Of course! Because if you let things be the way they are, it not only makes you feel worse in the moment, but it will continue on in the future also. How you feel towards yourself, your parents, your friends. You will feel like you're just shying away from stuff and from experiences. So you need to basically say, I won't tolerate this anymore. Either speak with the kid. You can also speak with the kid in a normal tone, which is like, so for example, kid, I don't want to have any problems with you in the future. Let's talk it out. Why are you bullying me? Yada yada. And basically most bullies, they're bullied at home by their parents or from siblings or whatnot, and they're showing their frustration on the kids that can be bullied. So you need to keep that in mind. If there's a problem with the bully, talk with the teacher so that they can talk with the parents and take some action. That is actually the best way I think that the thing can proceed. Not just you fighting with the kid, but you talking with the kid and actually becoming friends for helping him deal with his parents, siblings or whatever. I don't know if that will help at all. That's a realization that came just now. Another option. Yeah, talking too much, bye bye.